Yes? Come in. Master. Is there something that you would require of me? Training. And what sort of, training would you like? Of course, anything for you. Please, tell me what it is that is on your mind. I see. And you would like for me to train you? As much as I am honored, I do not believe that I would be the best match for you in regards to the sparring that is necessary for your training. I don't hold back. Too much, anyways. I see. Well, I suppose that it would be easier for me to keep an eye on you, and the gym could have unseen individuals in close proximity to you that could potentially... Yes, of course, your training. I'm trained in several martial arts across 4 countries. And I am more than capable of training with you, if you are able and willing to handle something that may be a bit out of your expertise. Alright, I'm working on training as is, so we can begin right now if you'd like. Yes? Alright. Then, if I might be so demanding of you, would you please switch out into something that would be better suited for dealing in hand-to-hand combat? No, I won't hurt you. That is the last thing that I would do. Your guardians hired me to protect you, and the last thing on my mind is bringing harm to you. Even without my orders, I wouldn't dare hurt you beyond what you'd asked for. You'd be surprised. I've received many commands to do things to my employers in the past. Choking them, pinning them down on the mat, making them submit. But surely, you're here for proper training, yes? If that is truly the case, then please, Master, are you sure that your current attire is appropriate for engaging in proper training? So be it. I would never question you or your motives. Please, step onto the mat with me. Yes, I installed these in the case that you'd ever wish to be trained, as well as to keep my own skills sharp. It's not such a strange thing for me to do, as the others that I have served also wanted such knowledge and experience in defending themselves. Just know that this is purely professional, and that I will not intentionally harm you. Alright, before we begin anything, I will assess that which you are currently capable of. Do you have any hand-to-hand combat experience? Understood. Then I will address you accordingly. Please, step closer to me onto the mat. My knowledge of self-defense varies greatly. It depends on who's looking for what. Well, in your case, I would humbly suggest that you learn how to protect yourself in close-quarters combat. Ground fighting and disabling your opponents, using technique over pure strength. As well, of course, learning how to defend yourself from being disabled. Being someone in your position will bring many potential opportunities that someone may try to kidnap you rather than kill you. I apologize. I know that it is a potentially scary thing to think about, but you're better off alive to those that seek to do you harm, and that at least provides you the advantage of being a non-kill target. Perhaps I may not be the best at motivating you or providing such feedback, but I promise you that I can train you in both aspects. Yes, of both defense and of offense, if the situation should require it. I am highly doubtful that any would be able to get past me. But if the case should ever arise, for whatever reason, then it would be good that you're able to defend yourself. Besides, confidence is a core aspect of who we are, and knowing that you are able to beat others is certainly something that can contribute to that. It's not just about beating others. It is also about self-control. Killing or winning is never the goal, just accomplishing what must be done. And in this case, what must be done is protecting yourself. God forbid it should ever have to come to that. But Slatewood being what it is, I believe that it would be best that I train you personally. No better time than the present. Here, take these gloves. I've ensured that they are your size. Simple. At a quick glance, I could determine what specifications were necessary. When I tell you that I think of everything, I think of everything. Would you like some help? Of course. All right, there we are. Nice and tight. Don't worry, I won't go easy on you. To deprive you of proper training would be something that I couldn't live with. You deserve only the best. And if the best means that you must hit the mat a few times, then it is what I shall do. All right, Master. Are you ready? Well, Davai, come, let's see what you've got. Footwork needs some, well, work. But this is something small, and we can get to this. Plant your feet further apart and keep your guard up. The last thing that you'd want is to be taken to the ground. Good punch, but too telegraphed. It means that you're showing your opponent your hand before you've even thrown your punch. Power is good. Speed is also good. Move your hips into the punch, like so. See? That's more like it. Now, try again. And remember to keep those hands up. Until the moment you hit, you don't want to let your guard down. Not so close to your face. If I were to punch you and you were to block like that, you'd be hitting yourself with your own fists from the force. Example. And from here, an opponent would take you down. Try not to let me get behind you. At this point, a fight becomes much more difficult. Don't let me get my arms around you. This move is called the rear naked chokehold. You know it, yes? It's one that you may use if you're able to get behind your opponent. It takes far less force to crush a windpipe or cut off blood to the brain than it does to beat an enemy down with fists and kicks, unless you're either very strong or very skilled. Don't worry, there are ways to escape this. You're doing fine. Lean back into me. Press your back against my chest, just like that. Now, begin rotating to one side, as much of your body as you can. There you go. Very good. Now that you've created some space, it is much easier for you to continue the rotation and mount me or to land blows. No, this is impressive. Very impressive. You packed just as much of a punch as I knew you would. You're stronger than you give yourself credit for. and there is still much further that you can go. Oh, nothing to concern yourself with. I'm just thinking of how to better train you. This may be good, but there is always room for improvement. I just realized that you've been, straddling me since you got out of that hold. Perhaps you'd prefer to sit on the bench with me while I give you some more pointers? No, I'm fine. No issue with it at all. If that is where you wish to sit, then that's where you shall sit. I'm in no position to deny you otherwise. Judgment? You did perfectly. Considering your former training, or lack thereof, I have full confidence that with more sparring and some time together in the gym, we can make significant improvements in your hand-to-hand combat capabilities. Besides some footwork, speed, and accuracy in your punches, as well as general technique, I don't think that there is much that stood out to me as too terrible. Well, I revere you. I cannot be blamed for being too keen on judging that which I see as perfection. Most likely just my intuition. Not to say that it isn't reliable. I do believe that my intuition is usually quite on point. As much as I enjoy lying on my back with you on top of me, would you like to have another round of sparring? Or perhaps something a bit more focused on fundamentals. I'd recommend that we go over some basics and, of course, stretch properly so as we don't injure ourselves during the training. Of course. Yes? The gym. I have several pieces of equipment that I'll be setting up in here shortly. We can use those in the future if you'd like. Healthy mind, healthy body, and vice versa. I will ensure to the best of my capabilities that you receive the finest of both. It is what you deserve, and what you've earned. Now, shall we? All right. Before the next bit of training, some stretches. Of course, you risk severe injury if you do not properly warm up prior to physically strenuous activities. And having you injured is not something that I could bear to hold in my conscience. I know, stretching can be boring, but I assure you that it is necessary if you would like to have me be your personal trainer. I suppose I am your bodyguard first and foremost, but I am many things more than that. A cook, a financial advisor, a servant, committed to making your life here in Slatewood and your successful return to the household as comfortable and seamless as possible. All right, first things first, shoulder stretches. Very important, especially since we will be focusing on groundwork and grappling, submissions, and more after that if we still have the energy for it. Afterwards, I'll make us a hearty meal if you would like. It's good to recharge after you've burnt a lot of energy. To properly grow in both strength and replenish what you've lost, it's good to eat soon after you have worked out. Should be just in time for your regular meal as well. Structure in our lives gives a good foundation to the head on our shoulders. I had a plan for myself, but since I'd be cooking for you, Master, then I will need to arrange something more suitable to your palate. We can discuss what we'll have for our meal soon, but first, some more training. I still have another hour and a half left in my allotted workout time anyways. But be advised, this next hour and a half for you may be physically demanding. Are you ready?